The first thing that you're going to do is establish your center dot, and then you're going to make your rounds outside of that dot. Decide now how many arms that you want coming off of your main mandala. In my example, I have 8 arms coming off. Once the center has been finished, you're going to go ahead and you're going to decide how far out you want your spacing for your walking dots. I've done this pattern a couple of different times, so I can guesstimate just about how far out that I want to go. It's just a little bit over a quarter of an inch for me, and that should give me about 3 rows. But practice your walking and you'll kind of get a feel on how big you start your circles, and then when you go down, how large that petal, I guess is the best word I can say, will grow. One of the things that you want to keep in mind when you're doing your dots is when it comes down to the smaller dots coming down to the base of your mandala. For me, with this design, I went back later once I was all finished and I extended those dots to come down into the circle from the bottom. So if you don't pay too much attention and don't try and get too small when you finish that bottom of that petal, then what you can do later on, and you'll see it later in the video, that I kind of go back in and I bring that back for a second curve to kind of touch the inside dots of the mandala. Once you have all the halves done, then what you're going to do is you're going to go in with the same size dot that you did to start this petal. You're going to go in and you're going to do that again from the opposite side. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the very last color that you used and you're going to continue that dot. And so you want to place your center dot just offset of that line. If you imagine that as a straight line, your new dot is going to be just to the left of that. And that's how I went ahead and established the start of all the different lines, and I'll do that for each individual petal. Once I have all those dots down, I'm going to continue the dots with my light purple. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that my ball stylus is one size smaller than the last one that's used on the purple. You'll also note that I switch styluses as I'm working, and that is to get more precise dots as I grow smaller. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on my next shade of color. And one of the things that I want to do is I need to bring that dot out just a hair. So I'm actually going to increase in size just 1 or 2 dots so that I can get that transition into that longer swirl. And I'll do that throughout as I go smaller and smaller into the body of the mandala. I'm going to have to grow out those dots a lot more. Otherwise, the point that they would come to would be too far in and I wouldn't get all the way out onto that last tentacle. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and speed it up here so you can just see me filling out all those different parts to this mandala octopus that I'm doing. And again, I go up a little bit in size once I start those other colors so that I can get a longer tail around that last bottom part. So that's pretty much it. Once I'm done with doing all of this, I will go back in with the very precise dotting tools from the Happy Dotting Company, and I will use those to really darken out and make sure that all of my dots are whole and they don't have like an empty spot or anything else, because sometimes when you walk these dots they can have a little bit of a bare spot to them. So once everything's all done, I just go back in and I touch that up. Another thing that I will do at this very end point is I will also take the that 1 or 2 number on the happy dotting tools, and I'll go back into the center and I will draw into the middle of the mandala and kind of extend that center point. So you'll see that in the finished piece on how it comes in really tight in towards the center of the mandala. So I finished with the octopus and I wanted to kind of create a little bit of a scene here. So what I went ahead and did was I just put in some dot versions of some algae and some, seaweed and whatever else growing up from the bottom of an ocean. So I hope you liked the video, and I hope can try one of these for yourselves and enjoy your dotting. Thanks for watching.